Money Radio, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's time to talk real estate with Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Now, Laura is an attorney and a real estate agent and a consumer advocate. She can represent clients for residential and commercial and land transactions, and she can also provide some legal advice along the way as well. Or if you have a legal issue dealing with real estate, Laura can really help. Laura holds an active Arizona real estate license, licensed through the State Bar of Arizona, specializing in real estate. She's had a lot of experience in real estate, a certified instructor with the Arizona Department of Real Estate. To get in touch with Laura, 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705. And all the contact info is at TalkRealEstateAZ.com. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. A lot of other information on their website as well. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
I mentioned you do residential, and we've talked about that a lot. New
Yes.
home sales, existing home sales. If somebody's thinking about building, you can help with land as well.
Correct.
Commercial, and you deal with commercial sales as well as leases.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before. Sometimes those commercial leases can be as complicated as anything.
Well, they are long with small type and lots of legalese.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, even as a real estate lawyer who's reviewed these leases, many times in certain paragraphs I have to go back and really try to dissect what they're actually saying. You know, because it can be, the language can be very circular, I find. And, you know, I think it's probably done on purpose. And I'm surprised how many people sign the lease without reading the whole lease and without consulting with a lawyer about certain provisions, because there's a lot of liability involved that people who sign a commercial lease don't realize. And certainly the big box stores, the grocery stores, they have lawyers on staff, but
Right.
the small business owner who's just, you know, getting enough money to get into the property, they're the ones that I find are most vulnerable.
Well, we know for sure that those commercial leases are written by attorneys.
Yes.
So the landlord has an attorney who helped them put together that lease, and they've done it for the advantage of the landlord, not for the rentor.
Correct. That's correct.
So, that being the case, there are probably some things in there that really are designed for the advantage of the landlord in this case, and you got to watch out, because it may really be detrimental for somebody who's taking out the lease for their small business sake.
Yeah. One of the big provisions that I see that hurts the small guy is the relocation provision.
Relocation.
And that means that the landlord has the right to move your business to another part of that property. Now, on its face, it doesn't sound unreasonable, because the landlord may have a space, two spaces that are not next to each other,
Okay.
and may have a tenant that needs that both of those spaces, so that he moves the tenant in the middle to another part. That makes sense, because the landlord wants to keep his property leased.
Sure.
However, if your business is the type that relies on foot traffic,
Well, visibility of some sort.
visibility, or if you're next to a big box or an anchor, where the foot traffic is more than if you're at the other end next to other small businesses. Let's say you're a sandwich shop next to a Home Depot.
Yeah, good place,
You know,
right?
and absolutely. Home Depot has people in and out all day, all kinds of people. We're talking about contractors, self-employed people.
People who want to eat a sandwich.
Yeah, and you know, they're on their way to get things for their job, but they also may be just getting something they need for their home. You know, in other words, it's all types of people enter the Home Depot. Old, young, skilled, unskilled. And so that's the perfect type of foot traffic for a small business where people grab things on the go.
And you're saying the landlord can just move you down to the end of the center?
If your lease specifies that.
Wow.
And so in some instances, it can actually destroy your business. Even
Sure.
though the landlord will pay to move you, and the space has to be substantially the same.
But what does substantially the same really mean?
Yeah, it means about the same square footage. And, you know, if your space now has a bathroom, the new space will have a bathroom, those types of things. But it doesn't have to be exactly the same, and in fact, it could be slightly smaller.
I would imagine if they can relocate your actual space, they could also do things such as signage that could affect your
Yes.
visibility and foot traffic as well.
Yes. And
Parking issues.
yeah, and once you're relocated, if your business fails or if your income's reduced as a direct result of the relocation, you do not get any break on the lease.
Wow.
And so that's the issue. And so before you sign the lease, you really want to evaluate if I request that paragraph or that requirement be deleted and the landlord says no, am I willing to take the risk and sign the lease anyway?
Could be a big risk.
It could be a big risk. You really need to figure out what kind of business your business is in terms of, do I depend on foot traffic? Is important that I be next to a certain other tenant?
Mhm.
You know, you may, like if you're, let's say you're a barber shop, you know, they're more popular these days.
Sure.
And you certainly don't want to be relocated next to a beauty shop that may also cut men's hair or short hair kind of
Mhm.
thing. So you want to be careful where you're relocated and what is in the center. Of course, the other problem is that tenants come and go. So what's there now may not be there 3 years from now, and you may have a 5-year lease. So these are all things to consider when you lease commercial space.
A lot of considerations when you are leasing commercial space, and as you say, these commercial leases can be some of the most complicated legal jargon that you're going to run across almost anywhere.
Unbelievable. And you may want to either offer to sign a longer lease or offer to pay a little more rent in exchange for not being relocated.
The important thing is that they are negotiable.
Yes.
You have to understand what's in the lease to negotiate the lease.
They're negotiable before you sign, though.
Yes.
After you sign, you're out of luck.
That's right. That's right. So if you're considering this process, really get some help. As I say, the commercial leases were written by attorneys. You need an attorney on your side before you sign that lease, and really can help you finding the right property that works best for you.
Yes.
And that's better than having to come to Laura afterwards and say, can you clean up this problem for me?
Yeah, you don't, even though you may have found the perfect location, in terms of where the larger property is located, you don't want the landlord to have the right to move you and then you end up in bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Then the location you chose becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know.
Laura Bramnick, TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Residential, commercial, land, Laura can help. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. 480-624-2705. And Laura answers your own phone. 480-624-2705. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura, great info as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Sinclair.